bit braver, Ian. You could go a little bit lower. You could space them out a little bit more. There's even when you think you're on top of that FOMO, maybe you're not.
So you heard the story about unicorn fart dust, right?
Well, it's an old boomer, isn't it? That was like, what is this nonsense? And
this is all crap. You guys are all scams. I'll prove it's a scam by creating this unicorn fart dust coin. And then crypto people are gonna like pump that to the moon just to show him. We're gonna make you rich, you stupid boomer.
Yeah, what a punishment.
Yeah. There is no second best market. There is no second best.
I mean, Fartcoin is amazing, and then unicorn fart dust is just that level higher. And with that story as well of just a boomer that doesn't want anything to do with crypto, it's a wonderful little narrative.
Well, I dumped 3/4 of Fartcoin because I've held it since 40 million to 1 billion. I think 20x is pretty good. You got to take some off the table at a 20x. So I've got well, it's not a little bit anymore of Fartcoin, but I took a big chunk of profits, but I put those back into Retardia, which doesn't appear to have worked very well overnight.
Yeah.
It's at 6,500. I bought it. It's at 6.5. I bought it 7.1. But you get that. Like that's just a thing. Yeah, I like the coin. I'm still in it. Hello, everyone. Good morning or evening, wherever you are.
All right, we got a big crowd in today. Hello, Kevin. Let's hand over to Scott.
You good to go?
We are.
All right, let's get it cracking. Well, Bitcoin hit $2 trillion in market cap and painted its first pullback from $108,000 to $105 for a Bitcoin. Now, the way that I'd like you to view this is since the election, we've had a very strong trend with only limited pullbacks. This section here in the green lines is now what's called a channel. A channel is best thought of as a weakening trend. So this trend was very strong, unequivocally, fuck yeah, we're all going to make it. And this trend is weakening. One of three things really are the highest probability from here. The first thing is an upside trend overthrow. This is probably not what you want to see because upside trend overthrows are the strongest, but also typically ending parts of a move. So this is the one that I don't want to see most of all. The second highest probability outcome is that we stay within this channel and we bump up somewhere against the top side and then decide again. This is probably about 35-40% chance. The last probability, which is probably the most bullish in the long term, is for us to hover down, shake out a few more people, and then bounce at some sort of horizontal line. So usually here or here would be about right, and before we go. So the point that I'm trying to make is that the future is not completely 100% set here, but we are in the context of a long-term bull market. We're overdue for a pullback. We've gone straight up from 50K to 108K. You've just got to expect 20-30% pullbacks at that point because that's just the way that it is. And why? Because anyone who bought at 52K and then sees the price at 108K will think, well, fuck, it's Christmas. I can buy myself a new house or a car, or holiday or anything. Now, the real question is that altcoins have pulled back to support. So we have a very classic looking three-wave correctional pattern. Not that there's anything to Elliott waves, they're all bullshit, but this 1, 2, 3, this is the normal thing. If this green line holds on altcoins, and I'm plotting altcoins if you use TradingView, total 3 minus USDT minus USDC. So that gives us the altcoin market cap minus Ethereum minus stablecoins, minus Solana. If this holds on alts, this should be a straight shot upwards. Why? Because we had this straight shot upwards. We've got a perfectly normal ordered pullback, wiped out about 25% of the gains. That's about right. About right. Now, the pro tip, if you want to get really rich in crypto, there's only one thing you need. You need to find the next $1 trillion coin before anyone else. You need to find a top 10, top 20 coin before it's top 10, top 20 coin. And getting in early on this brand new coin, it's going to make you $1 million. It's already made me $1 million. If you're stuck in a 9 to 5 and you want to get out, if you feel like you're playing from behind and you want to catch up, this one coin is going to pay for your retirement. I've got $1 million of my own money in that, and actually a little bit less. Let's have a look. Here we go. I've got $947,690 right now in this coin. It's one of 3 trades this year that allowed me to make actually, it's a lot more than 1.3 million, but I started with just 5K. Actually, in October, I started with 5K. So the 3 big plays, I made hundreds of trades this year, but only really 3 of them have worked. If it wasn't for these 3 big ones, I wouldn't have had a very good year. So the 3 big ones were Cocky New, rode that bad boy up really well, and you can see where we bought it at December 11. The next one is Retardio, which is taking it right in the ass right now, but at its peak, it was 497, and today it's about 200 and low 200s. And the third one is Hype, which is what we're going to talk about today. But before I get into this ticker and why it's going to be the biggest trade of my life, I think this is a $10 million trade for me. Here's a little bit about me. I've been a full-time professional trader since 2007, and my background, my professional experience is in traditional finance, systematic trend trading on futures markets, which I learned under Ed Secoda and Van Tharp, who you might have heard from the Market Wizard books. I took those trading skills to crypto because it was an easier poker table to sit at. I bought my first Bitcoin for $4.21 and sold them for $23, which wasn't very smart. And I turned a $5,000 account into 1.44 million this year. I'm going to show you the exact same system that's made $10 million in profit this year alone. And this isn't some kind of bait and switch marketing thing where you have to pay. You get something you can take away and profit from today. I'm going to show you what I think is the best trade I've ever seen. I'm going to give you the ticker of the coin that's going to 1 trillion this cycle. It's currently 18 days old and it's 8 billion. And the last cycle, Solana went from $1 to 260. There's always one that does this, and it's very clearly this is the one. In 2018, it was Neo that went from 40 cents to $200. In 2021, Doge did it from 1 cent to 69 cents. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And later that year, Sand went from 5 cents to $7.45. So if you want to get really rich from crypto, you catch one of those. Like I caught a couple this year, you need to catch one. That's the play. Imagine if you catch just one of the smash hit coins of this cycle. For every $100 you put in, you get back 10 grand. For every $1,000, you get back 100 grand. And these are exactly the kind of life-changing gains on offer. So let's get to it. Now, first thing I want to point to you is that since the election, for the first time, and we haven't seen this in well over a year, altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin and Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum. So altcoins are the horse to bet on right now. Why? Because they're the fastest horse. Now, the race isn't always to the swift. The battle isn't always to the strong, but that's the way to bet. And I feel very strongly that this is the time because altcoins are going right. Crypto's going right. I think it's time to push all your chips in on a big targeted bet on a breakout hit for alt season. My bet is on the Hyperliquid ecosystem. It's not just bullshit. You can see I've got my own money in it. I get $1 million in my own writing on this, and I think it's going to be somewhere between a 10 and 100x from here. Its 24-hour volume has surpassed $10 billion. Coinbase is currently $8 billion. So it's a bigger exchange than Coinbase. So let's start with the product. The product is Hyperliquid Exchange, but there's a lot more to it than that. The big thing that Hyperliquid has done is they didn't take VC money. So the usual way a coin goes is they take some investing money early in the start, and then they use that money to build their coin. And by the time the coin gets to the market, the VCs are selling, the all-in podcast bros, the VCs, the whales, the insiders the owners, they're selling out while you're selling in, and it just creates this constant stream of selling pressure, guaranteed to pump and then guaranteed to dump. Hyperliquid has avoided that by not taking any money at all, and they have shared all their money with users. They've been incredibly generous with users. They've been incredibly generous with me. They said they were going to do it, and I didn't quite believe them until they did it. And so they believe that ownership goes to the believers and the doers, not the rent-seeking insiders, and they're backing it up with money. So Hype is a project that's pretending to be a super successful exchange, like Binance, like Bybit, like Coinbase. And this is the biggest and most profitable crypto use case. And they have both spot exchanges like Coinbase, like Kraken, like Gemini, and they have perpetual futures exchanges like Binance, Bybit, MEXC, and OKX. Now, both of those are the two most profitable businesses in crypto, and they have both of them. Now, perpetual futures open interest hit 4.5 billion yesterday, compared with Binance is 25 billion, Bybit is 19 billion, OKX is 6.5 billion. And this is growing. You can see OKX is shrinking, Bybit is shrinking, Binance is really shrinking. So what we're seeing is that Binance, which was the top exchange by a mile, Binance was 70% of everything in crypto last cycle. Anyone used them lately? They're like garbage. The coins they're listing are garbage. The rules are garbage. The way they play games with freezing people's accounts and funds is garbage. It's become a shittier business. It's left an opportunity for a fast-moving, hungry competitor to come and eat their lunch. This is the story of tech stuff in general. Yahoo was the biggest, and Google came and ate their lunch. MySpace was the biggest. Facebook came and ate their lunch. You know, we see this again and again and again. That's not the real story. So adding $1 billion a week in open interest, it's clear that it's taking market share off these incumbents. In 3 months, Hyperliquid's going to be the second biggest exchange. In 6 months, it's going to be the biggest exchange. Now, one thing I want you to note is that even with crypto, frankly, taking it right in the ass this week, its altcoins are down. Altcoins are down 18.5%. That's a lot. But look at the inflows to Hyperliquid chain. The inflows are continuing to go vertical. And look, this is the individual daily inflow. It's continuing to rise. Yesterday, while the market was shitting itself, saw its highest inflows into this exchange. Notice how sticky the new user capital is, because that's the thing. It's pretty easy to attract new users to try Hyperliquid. You just throw money at them. You just give them free money for turning up. What's difficult is getting them to stick around once they've got their free money, once they've got their airdrop. But this isn't all. It's actually a stealth high-performance layer 1 network like Solana. Its closest analogy is Solana. And it's got trillion-dollar potential. It does everything Solana does better and faster than Solana. It's already got higher spot volumes than Coinbase. USA customers can use it. This is a big deal. You know, because we run FinRev, I know that the number one problem for our business is getting customers onboarded to USA-friendly exchanges. Now, Trump has said he's not prosecuting DeFi projects. They took no VC money, which would eventually dump, and then instead they gave that money to users like me and you. Ian got an airdrop, Maurizio got an airdrop, Caroline got an airdrop, I got an airdrop, all the guys in the group got an airdrop. We all got fucking paid from these guys. It's taking market share off the other users. Why? Because they're so much easier to use. Let me show you why they're so much easier to use. So who here in the chat has used Who here has used Binance or Bybit or some exchange? Okay, a couple of people have BitGet, Bybit. Do you find that they make you do the two-factor authentication, the email codes? Is that a bit of a ball ache? Is that kind of annoying? Does anyone find that annoying? Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this with, that's it. I just click connect. Now I'm connected. Now I'm trading. Now, if you're getting your jurisdiction is not allowed method, you just need a VPN and you need to set it to somewhere where it is allowed. Australia is fine. Yeah. The fees to send funds to Hyperliquid are extremely low, exceptionally low, John. How safe is it really? So this is a very good question. Everything is on chain. So you remember with FTX, remember when Sam Bankman-Fried stole everyone's money? And we couldn't really tell. We had to trust Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, because all of this is on chain, I can go to any user and find their address, click on a link and see what they've actually done, what trades they've done, what transfer in and out. So it's impossible for them to lie. So all this stuff is not like, trust us, we wouldn't lie to you, bro. All this stuff is, well, here's a user who's done $32 billion. Now, the thing that you might not have twigged is that Hyperliquid doesn't tie your account to a name, an email address, or an IP address. So they don't know who you are. It's all completely anonymous. The upshot of that is that it's very difficult for them to ban you because they don't even know who you are. How do they ban someone who they don't know who you are? And the second thing is that they can't take your money because it's all on chain. They can't, you don't need to rely on customer support. Now, the metrics are baked in to overtake OKX, Coinbase, and Bybit, become the biggest exchange this year. And you can see very clearly from the stats, even when crypto went down the last couple of days, they're painting new users. They're doing 7,000 new users a day. They are raising open interest by about $1 billion a week. And you can see this is when they released their coin. Since they released their coin, they're at total open interest of 1 billion. Now they're at 4.5. So the business is 4 times the size that it was 2 weeks ago. Can you expand on they can't take your money because it's all on chain? This is totally permissionless. You can pull your money out anytime you want. It's just totally on chain. And it's a distributed exchange as opposed to a centralized exchange. In a centralized exchange like Binance or Bybit, they can shut your account off. They can decide not to send your money. They can impose new conditions, new rules, new whatever. That can't happen with a DEX. Why is there a stall in the price? Because the whole market is going down, and the stall in the price is a good thing. Now, this is essentially what FTX did in 2021, with the difference that FTX had this sort of trust me, bro, business model, and they just lied. And what we've seen is that crypto projects will lie. So what Hyperliquid has done is made it impossible to lie by putting everything on chain. If they lied, I'd know about it first. Everyone would know about it. People would say. Now, this week, they added a major new revenue stream, which I'm kind of in two minds about because it's hurting me personally. They're charging for token listings. Now, every 31 hours, they hold a token listing auction. And you can see the first one went for 66,000, next one went for 73.87. They're charging $262,000 to deploy a token. The next one, they're looking for $500,000 for the token. I'm going to have to swallow the bullet and buy one of these at some point because we're releasing a token on the Hyperliquid network. And I'll talk a little bit about that later, but I'm going to have to pull $500,000 of my own money out and spunk it. Now, these are the earnings across all layer 1 and layer 2 coins. You can see Hyperliquid has more earnings and fees than Tron, Solana, Blast, Arbitrum, all of them, all the way down. They are the highest earning chain across all layer 1 and layer 2 coins. So these are, I just put in DeFi Llama, where are we? Tron, Sui, Hyperliquid, SEI, Base, Optimism, Avalanche, Blast, Aptos, Nia, Ton, Polygon, Solana. Is there any other chains anyone wants me to add in there? Tiana, you don't need a VPN, sorry. Okay, so let's add Kronos in there as well, and let's add Mantle. Okay, so if we look at this, you can see that Hyperliquid, this is the total value locked on chain, has overcome its like 10 nearest competitors. And there's only a couple that are bigger than it already. So what's bigger than it? Solana is bigger than it. Tron, the money laundering chain, is bigger than it. And Base, the Coinbase chain, is bigger than it. Those are the three real competitors right now. So it's number 4 is not bad for something 2 weeks old. And it's going to kill all these. It's going to kill Polygon, Ton, Nia, Aptos. Aptos dead in the water. Sui and SEI and Blast. Like, why the fuck do they even exist? Now, the next thing that they're going to add it is staking your coins. Now, what's staking your coins? This is running on testnet now. And you can see... Actually, I haven't got testnet up. But... they're testing staking, and staking is you can take your coins and you can put them and get an interest rate reward paid in hype. This is a very good thing to do if you do it safe. I'm going to do this. What this is going to do is going to make people who are potentially selling coins, going to make them stakers. It's going to pull those coins off the market. It's going to reduce supply and increase demand. Is it the right moment to invest 5K on hype? Absolutely. And you can see very clearly the indicator that I've got up is a volume weighted average price. This is a 1 hour chart. Let's just go to the spot. You can see this is right from the start. You can see that anytime it's dropped below there, people have been accumulating it. I bought more here, by the way. So here was a good spot to accumulate. 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 Here was a good spot. We have a very good spot right now around VWAP. You're getting it for $24. I think it's a slam dunk to be $100 in the near term and $200 to $250 if things go right. Should we use leverage on hype? No, you should not. Now, next point. Jeff Yan, the founder, he's Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg level founder, as well as being an incredible engineer. Like, he was considered a 100x engineer at Hudson River Trading, which is one of the best trading firms in the world. He's got an incredible reputation, and my hedge fund buddies who know the guy in person, they say that he is who Sam Bankman-Fried was pretending to be. He's taking market share from competitors, not through luck, but through strategic, intentional decisions, incredibly good execution. What that tells us is that he's a gangster. He is just playing to win. He is absolutely playing to win, and he's not playing to be like the 10th or the 11th biggest exchange. He's playing to be number 1. This is going to be the biggest company in crypto. In the same way that FTX came from nowhere and became the biggest company in crypto. This is the one. Now, he reached out to me personally September last year. So he said, I'm curious about your thoughts about Hyperliquid liquidity, top priority to improve it. And I had a conversation with the owner. This is the type of thing you want to see from your founders. You want to see your founder reaching out to early users of the thing, saying, do you like it? What can I improve? Good founding. And in my view, startups are a bet on the founders. Facebook was a bet on Zuckerberg. Really was. Amazon was a bet on Bezos. Tesla is a bet on Elon. It's not about the cars, it's about Elon. And this guy he can hang with any of those guys. He's a guy who, as a founder, he can hang with Elon. He can hang with Bill Gates. He's making it so very profitable to trade on Hyperliquid. M. Griffiths 46, liquidate memes for hype, you reckon, or keep holding Retardio? I was going through this yesterday. I think the memes are going to come back. I think it's the wrong time to sell the memes. The product is so very good that users will stick with it. But Jeff's secret business model is they're using Hyperliquid to acquire users for their layer one coin, like an Ethereum or like a Solana. After Bitcoin, the world's biggest coins are layer ones because they have the biggest, most profitable use case. And we can see that clearly with Ethereum, layer one coin, Solana, layer one coin, AVAX, layer one coin. This coin's under 2 weeks old. It's probably not going to overtake Ethereum, but it's going to overtake Solana. It's going to make it the number 3 coin. What's the number 3 coin with the number 1 exchange worth in a crypto bull market? It's worth a fucking lot. That's what it's worth. Now, you can put anywhere from 1K to 10K into hype, come back in 6 months for an easy 10X. Then you wait a little longer for it to establish itself as the highest performance layer one. And that's a home run 100X on your investment. And I want to say to you very clearly, and you shouldn't listen so much to what I say, you should look at what I actually do. I've got $1 million bet that the next Ethereum is Hyperliquid. And let me say that very clearly in the chat. The next Ethereum is Hyperliquid. This is true. But here's the thing. There's coins like Hype. You can get lucky on them. You can get smart on them. You shouldn't bet the whole farm on it. And there was someone in the chat asking, should I liquidate my memes to go all in on this? I was thinking about it yesterday. I considered it as like, no, it's not smart to go completely in on one thing. It's my biggest trade. And let's be honest, I need a bit of luck for it to come off. But what if you could catch every winning coin of the cycle with no luck? What if you didn't have to choose just $1 trillion coin of the cycle and you could get in on every $1 trillion coin and every crypto bull runs and beat the returns of holding the best cryptos? We've made nearly 10 million bucks in profits for our customers this year. It was over 10 million. It's now a little bit below 10 million. And we've made that at risk-adjusted and absolute returns better than George Soros and Ray Dalio put together. You can see since the start of the bull run last October, our customers, depending on what risk level they've chosen, have done between 170% and 120%. It's not bad. These are absolute returns better than the early days of crypto. So if you're one of those guys that thinks, oh, fuck, I missed it. Marty, we have to go back. We have to go back to 2011 and buy a lot of Bitcoins. This is the deterministic, mechanical, luck-free way to become a certified crypto millionaire. Have it fund your retirement. I have Saudi hedge fund whales using this. I've got billion-dollar hedge fund managers. I've got ex-BlackRock quants. I've got every single person in our company has their savings in it. I got my savings in it. My boomer father has his savings in it. Because people who use FinRev get exposure to crypto's strongest coins without the 80+% drawdowns of traditional crypto investing. You want to know what traditional crypto investing is like? Let me show you my second biggest position. This is like a Fredo break your heart situation. Retardio. I bought it here. I put $2,200 in it. At here, it was $500. Let's look at it today. Not that one, different one. 148. So I'm down from 500 to 148 grand. That's a Fredo break your heart situation. Now, this is the kind of thing, if you're going to play altcoins, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. It's just part of the game. I put in 2,200. It was 100 grand. It was back down to 20. It lasted a long time. It was up to 200. It was down below 100 again. Fuck yeah, we're going to make it. Oh, down from 350 to 180 up to 500. We're going to make it. No, bro. No, we're not going to. This is a wild ride. I don't think Popcat's finished. I think Popcat's rock solid, guys. What's happening with memes is that DeFi and Hyperliquid are sucking all the attention out of the room. So it's an attention-based thing. As people take their minds off memes and back onto this, memes will come back. Don't worry about that. Fartcoin versus Popcat. Fartcoin's already gone. Yesterday, again, this is one of my don't look at what I say, look at what I do. So Fartcoin, I still have 10 grand in, but yesterday, I swapped out 3/4 of my Fartcoin and I swapped it for Retardio. What's the better buy right now, Retardio or Hype? Hype is safer. Hype is definitely much safer. Retardio has a lot of upside here. So let me show you the system that I used to do this. It's called Financial Revolution. And I built it by getting the smartest quants I could find from big firms, using proven strategies from the TradFi hedge fund world. And boy, has it been good to us. Now, let me just show you how good it's been. All right. So these are our returns over the last 12 months at various risk levels. So this 35 one, we don't actually use much of. So don't worry about this blue one. So most of our customers are either on low, which is 40, medium, which is 45, or risky, which is 50%. And at 50%, you should be getting about 93% per year on average. In the last year, it's done 102% at high leverage, and 96% at medium, and 81 at low. So that's pretty good. How has it made it? It's made it like this. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is that the shitty times for the system, generally, the shitty times for the system, the shitty times for the system, the shitty times for the system, generally correlate with quiet times here. This is our daily move up and down. Quiet times here, quiet times here. So when we start to see it wiggle around a lot, this is very promising for our system. You can see when it started to wiggle around a lot, this was very promising for our system. When it started to wiggle around a lot, very promising for our system. When it started to wiggle around a lot, very promising for our system. So we're very, very happy with it. What does FinRev do in a bear market? That's a fucking hell of a question. Here's a bear market. Here's what happened to Bitcoin plus Ethereum. If you're holding them equal weight, you got absolutely cunted from January 2022, basically. You just got to stick with it, man. You just got to stick with it. And so if you bought at the absolute peak and you got absolutely cunted, our system kept growing. It went sideways a lot, but not only did you not lose any money, you made a little bit, made a little bit more, made a little bit more. And then when the bull market kicked off, you really made a lot more. So what it does is it's slow and steady during the bear markets and explosive and wild during the bull markets. Now, let me talk about the massive improvements we've got in FinRev 3.0, and we're going to talk about our trend coin too, because that's probably the most exciting thing I've ever done. And we're going to borrow heavily from the Hyperliquid playbook, and Hyperliquid has become a massive success just by being overly generous to its holders. I'm just going to throw money at the trend holders. We're taking on no investors, no seed capital, no VCs, we're going to bootstrap the whole thing, and we're going to give all the profits back to you guys. So everyone who's stuck with FinRev through all the drawdowns, everyone who's stuck through this shit, you're going to get paid. And you're going to get paid with no obligation as an absolute gift from us. So we've added 2 new edges, which we think take us to the end game. Now, our goal is always to get a sharp 2.0 system, which would make it the best risk-adjusted return ever offered to retail investors. So we're doing 3 things. The first thing, our existing signals look roughly like this. Jagged and kind of hard to live with. long sideways periods, when we take our existing trend signals and convert them into what's called a market neutral signal. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 100 coins we trade, we're going to go long the top 50 and we're going to go short the bottom 50. And in theory, we're going to be balanced. When we do that, we get a much smoother, client-friendly, less hard to live with returns. Tony, FinRev is almost ready to go into Hype. We're going to add it as soon as we've made these upgrades, and I'm just waiting for our CTO is on a boat in Burma right now, on a dive boat away from internet, and I didn't want to stress him out by launching a new thing when he was about to go away. Now, the next system we have to add is cross-sectional carry. So cross-sectional carry, we have 3 different versions of this, and you can see that it's also pretty good. It's sharp 1.78, which is in the mid-range of what we do, but you can see that the shape is very different than what we have now. And this is important. So when we blend the 3 of them in an equal mix, trend, momentum, carry, we get something that I think everyone can live with. Still goes sideways. There's no way around that, but doesn't really go down. Everyone's going to like this. No one's going to hate this. Now, if you aren't fluent in Nerd, this is as good as trading systems get. This is small drawdowns, high risk adjusted returns, 100% per year. Let me show you how it works. Just a sec, I'll just load up my account. All right. It's a long history. You can see that, it has long sideways periods. It goes up, goes sideways. This is switched off for a little bit. And the best time to invest in these systems is obviously when you see this, when they're in drawdown. One thing you don't want to do with this system is add more money up here. You want to add more money when it's pulled back a bit. You want to add more money when it's pulled back a bit. You want to add more money when it's pulled back a bit. You want to add more money when it's pulled back a bit. First thing you see is the market value of your account. This is the amount you put in, less the amount you're taking out. Now, if you want to take money out of your account, you don't need to ask anyone's permission. You just withdraw it from your Binance, your Bybit, your KuCoin, your whatever. And this is the profit you've made. The next thing that you see is these are our top 10 long and short positions by value. So you can see here, because the market's been going down, we have some short positions, but these short positions are generally smaller than the long positions. So if we had to guess that, we're probably about 60% long right now, 70% long. We can go into positions and see the exact positions that we've got. So we see a chart and we can sort these by long and short. So, wow, we've got some short positions here now. So we've got a page of short positions and 2 pages of long positions. So we're about 35% short. Now, we can sort them by notional value. Our biggest position is BNB. So let's take a look at BNB. The way the system works, all of our different signals, you can see these small dotted lines, get averaged through a process called portfolio management into one big signal. If that signal is positive above this line, we're betting that it goes long. If this signal is negative, we're betting that it goes short. You can see that as the market goes sideways, make small wins and small losses, a lot of them. But when we get a big trend, we started to go long here, added to that long, added to that long. These little green arrows are adding to the long. The sells are taking profits. So we're quite long at the moment. Let's look at some other positions. Let's look at XRP, which has been one of the standout coins lately. So XRP basically did nothing until here. We get long here, kept adding, and now we're balls long. If it looks like it's going to go back down, we bank a bit of profits, and we're still balls long. This is how it works. Can I get in the chat a coin from this list that people want to see. Doge. There we go. Thanks, Ian. And Jasmine. Okay. Doge has been pretty good lately. Well, not today. You can see we get long here, adding to the position, holding long, starting to sell off here, starting to sell out, starting to bank profits. And right now, we're completely out of it. Jasmine was the next one. Same basic thing. We got long, didn't look like it was working, so we got back out, got long, just chopped around, got short for a bit. And here we get long and we stay long, and now we're banking out of the profits, and now we're almost back to flat. Doge is back to break even. Doge is back to flat now. Still on top. Avalanche. How come we don't have hype on FinRev? Because it's too new for us. We need a certain amount of history to calculate our signals. It's going to be a couple of months before we have enough history that we can accurately predict the signal. Lock-in doesn't work on momentum signals. So you can see AVAX, we got long here, stayed long, started to pull off here, and now we're actually short AVAX. Would I get the meme long? No, because I know all the people behind it. They're a bunch of TradFi guys who I know quite well. They don't know what they're doing with crypto. They're just trying to pump a coin and make some money out of crypto. So no, I would not get the meme long. Sorry, Zoom doesn't like this page, but it should reload. Okay, so we got a trade history. You can see what we're doing today. So we're selling about $200 worth of Bitcoin, $150 worth of Ethereum, a little bit of XRP. Zoom doesn't like this page at all. And you can see what's happened for every day. So it's pretty good. It's really good, actually. It's a dream come true. Dream come true. And this is about creating generational wealth for crypto. If you look at it day to day and month to month, it can look kind of shit. But year to year, from 2020 to 21, from 21 to 22, from 22 to 23 in the middle of the worst bear market, from 23 to 24, from 24 to 25, it's all pretty good. So let's look at our individual returns. Profitable, only just profitable and profitable every year. You can't say that about crypto, that it's profitable every year any other way. One important thing is this is our rolling beta to benchmark. So what this is how correlated is it to Bitcoin and Ethereum? And you can see that it's not very correlated to Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's actually an average of 0, negatively correlated to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you're holding some Bitcoin, if you're holding some Ethereum as a hodler, this gives you a very non-correlated return stream. Now, to create generational wealth, if you're earning 100% a year, after 5 years, you've turned 10 grand into 320,000, as ridiculous as that sounds. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I've done it. So I know it's not ridiculous. But the important thing is that you're only a couple of bends around the track from 10 million. And 10 million is my number. I think 10 million is a number for most people. 10 million plus a house should be about the number for everyone. Like if you need more than that, you're probably just delusional, and it's probably easier to adjust your expectations. You know, I'm not talking about flying private and owning Lamborghinis. I'm just talking about living a great life where you don't have to worry about money, and your kids never have to worry about money, and your wife never has to worry about money. You can do whatever the fuck you want and never worry about anything that you want to buy. 10 million plus a house is about the. Now, our strategy is done on average 93% per year, and it's done that every year. Year 5, you get to 380. Year 10, you're looking at 14 million. That's a lot. Now, what you really want to do with this is relax and enjoy the ride. Why? Because parts of the ride suck. Parts of this ride absolutely suck. And that's what you get paid for. You don't get paid for anything else but the sucky parts. Because if a trade was easy to do, highly profitable, very consistent, and didn't hurt your feelings, then everyone would do it and it would stop being that trade that you want. What you really want to do is just relax and enjoy the ride. Keep your hands off the steering wheel. You know, I had a mate, he put 30 grand into it and pulled it out after it was 7 grand down. And he messaged me yesterday and he said, man, in my mind, you owe me 7 grand. FinRev owes me 7 grand. I'm like, dude, this is just like not the thinking. This is not the thinking. If you can just keep your hands off the steering wheel, it's going to make you rich in 5 or 10 years. And I'm doing my best to show you it warts and all. I'm showing you that there is no investing. If someone tells you there's an investing strategy, which is just a straight line up and there's never any pullbacks and it's all blowjobs and chocolate and no pain, they're lying to you. I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to lie to you. The truth is, and let's look at the real numbers. Our worst drawdowns, our worst 10 drawdowns, 33, 28, 24, 22, 20. This is since 2019, by the way. 20, 6. So these are the drawdowns that you can expect. Now, we only win 52% of days. How's that? You're not winning every day. You're only winning slightly better than 50% of days. You're winning only 61% of months, 58% of quarters. So it doesn't feel like you're making money. It doesn't feel like it at all. It feels constantly like I could make more money doing something else. That's the feeling that I get all the time is I could make more money doing something else. It's not true, but that's the way that I feel about it. If you can just not mess with it and not worry about day-to-day fluctuations, you can be highly confident at the end of the year you'll show a profit. And in 10 years, you're going to be rich. And my goal for you is the same as my goal for myself. I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want. I want to be able to do it wherever I want. You know, I live in Phuket, Thailand. Why did I move there? Because I couldn't afford to live in Australia anymore. That's how bad it got in Australia. I couldn't afford to live the life I want in Australia. Yeah, now I don't want you to be able to do that with whoever you want. I don't want your family to have to worry about money ever again for as long as you want. And money is just a tool to buy time and freedom. Compounding does the real work. Who's impressed so far? This is my family, my beautiful wife. This is the Noosa River, which is one of my favorite places in the world. And this is me, I'm a gorilla. And this is my beautiful daughter. Here's the deal. $500 UST DT to get you started for everyone who books a call today. So we have 3 tiers of FinRev available for you today. We have FinRev Silver, which you manually have to execute yourself. So you've got yourself a job. It's much cheaper. It's $1,000 for 3 years. FinRev Gold, it's what I personally use. $6,500 for 3 years of fully automated trend following trading. What happens at the end of the 3 years? Do I fuck you again and send you another bill? No. I charge you 20% of the profits that we make together. So if you don't make money, I don't make money. And I think that's right. FinRev Platinum is $9,500 for 3 years of fully automated trading with all our systems, plus the ability to run multiple accounts. Now, what that gives you is if you think Binance is unreliable or Bybit is unreliable, you can split the risk between them. If you don't know if Hyperliquid is going to outperform Bybit, because we don't know, they wiggle around all the time, you can split your risk. You can take one account and run it at an absolutely degenerate rate of leverage. You can, and you know, we've got one member who's made 2,000% in the last year. You can just crank the volume up to 11. I wouldn't let you do that with 100 grand, but if you want to do it with a couple of grand to just have a bit of a bet, fuck yeah, go hard. Now, let's go into the details. FinRev Gold is trend following. It's exactly what I've used. Ferrari, yes, you can get the 500. Ian, can you take care of that for him? 3 years of automated algorithmic trading with FinRev. You get a VIP onboarding with one of our expert crypto trader coaches, not some sort of customer support muppet in a third world. We're talking about guys like Ian and Maurizio and Caroline, like people who've got their own money in it. You get all the stats and monitoring that I've showed you today. You get exactly what I get, what I trade with. You can delay starting or pause at any time. So let's say the market crashes. Whenever the market crashes, we make a pile of money. You've got a pile of money. You want to stick it in the hype coin and ride that back up. You can pause, shove it in hype, and then restart it when you pull it back. I fully support that kind of gambling. Now, double your money guarantee. If you aren't in profit after the first 12 months using the system, we'll let you use it for free until you've doubled your money. And to get that deal, you go to finrev.trade/call. Now, the FinRev Platinum, which is $9,500 for 3 years, the same thing, the 3 years of automated algorithmic trading with FinRev, we charge you 20% of the profits we make together after that. VIP onboarding, the stats and monitoring. But what we do is we completely custom design the system for your goals, your volatility targets. We spread the risk between exchanges in the way that suits you best, and we give you the DGen exchange. You're grandfathered into new systems. We have 6 more on the drawing board for no extra charge. It's trend following, cross-sectional carry, and momentum, and all of these together smooth everything out. They just make the ride easier to live with. Double your money guarantee, same as before. If you aren't in profit after your first 12 months, we'll let you use it for free until you've doubled your money. finrev.trade/call. Now, I want to talk about the trend coin. Now, what Hyperliquid lets you do is their layer 1 has inbuilt primitives for trading spot and futures. We are going to put our entire FinRev system on the Hyperliquid blockchain. We're going to make it the world's first distributed blockchain hedge fund, and we're attaching a coin to it. The coin is called Trend. Now, most altcoins, or as I call them, shit coins, are fatally deficient in that they'll pay you for using them, but they want to pay you in magic beans. Trend is the first coin that's going to pay you in US dollars, USDC, for owning the coin. So who gets the Trend coin? The Trend coin doesn't go to Silicon Valley people. It doesn't go to venture capitalists. It doesn't go to investors. It doesn't go to me. It goes to the users of the coin. And this is what we're doing, is we're ripping off the Hyperliquid playbook. Hyperliquid was just incredibly generous to all its members. That's what I want to do. Fuck it. I'm gonna throw money at you guys just to thank you. And I believe that will grow the business the fastest. And I believe if we put $100 million in trend following on the blockchain, and it's going to earn about 93% a year, that's going to be $93 million a year worth of US dollar income, and we're going to pay that back to the members. I think that's going to grow like a weed. I think that's a concept that's going to resonate with people. I think it's going to be a smash hit coin of the cycle. I don't think there's been a better time in all of human history to launch a coin than right the fuck now. I don't think there's been a better platform to build it on than the Hyperliquid layer 1. I don't think the technology was even available. And to be honest, if I did this 2 years ago, I would have done exactly what everyone else did, which is take 10 million bucks off VCs and let the VCs rip everyone off at the end of the day, because I wouldn't see another way. So for the first time, we've got this way that we can do a totally fair launch of a coin. We can reward the people who actually use the thing. All our existing FinRev customers, everyone on this is getting paid. Everyone's getting the Trend coin. Everyone's getting an allocation. That allocation will be big. That allocation will be more than you've spent on the Trend coin, more than you've spent on the system. So everyone who's given us money, I'm going to fucking give it all back to you. That's what I'm going to do. I reckon it's a good idea. So if you want to join me, this is for people who use FinRev. So yeah, it's my idea. I told our CFO that we're going to do it this way, and he's like, "No, Scott, we could just sell it for 20 million bucks right now to some VCs." How it's like, "Oh, but I can sell this right now. We can just walk away." I was like, "No, dude, let's do it right. Let's set it up to make this $1 billion company in the long term, and let's do that by sharing it with our guys." Fuck yeah, that's all I got to say. Come along and make all you motherfuckers rich. All of them. Every last fucking one of you. And those of you who know me, who've been following me for years, you know I'm not the guy that says one thing and does another. Like, there are plenty of people who say one thing and then do another when it comes to money, and I am not one of them. And I am not the guy who sets out to do a thing and then ends up failing at doing that thing. I'm just not that guy. I'm very different than all the other kids. I'm just not like the other kids. When I set a goal, I achieve that goal every damn time. And this is what I want to do. You know, I'm already set up financially for life. Because I've been able to do that through crypto, I can look at the next goal. And the next goal is, how do I set all of our members? How do I set all of our staff? How do I set Ian and Caroline and Maurizio and Howard? How do I set the marketing team up for life? How do I set all our customers up for? How do I set Tony up for life? You can't buy a trend coin. You absolutely can't buy a trend coin. I'm not asking for you to invest in trend coin. In fact, I'm telling you, you can't. The only way to get it is to use FinRev. That's it. Ian, I am a gorilla.
Yeah.
I don't just look like a gorilla. I am a gorilla. I can tear your arms off your body, dude.
Yeah, but you're a gorilla with a massive heart, so.
Oh, so sweet of you to say. All right, that's enough for me. Let me hand it back to Ian.
All right. So,
Craigo, no, I didn't drop in. I didn't drop lock in. One thing that I always say is, don't listen too much to the bullshit that comes out of my mouth. Have a look at my wallets. So let's look at a few of my different wallets. I'm holding, in this wallet, I'm holding Retardio, Fartcoin, Lock-in, Mitch, which we're going to run a bit of a hustle on, some Sigma. What am I holding here? Retardio, Sigma, Solana, and some bullshit. What do we got here? Nothing. Nothing, just some Solana. Nothing, just some Solana. Nothing, just some Solana. Just some Solana. And $1,000 worth of Retardio, I think.
excellent. Okay, we've been keeping up with the messages in the chat as we've been going along. So correct me if I'm wrong here, Scott. As a very, very, very broad timeline for trend, we're probably looking at May, April next year. You know, there's no
Probably June in the real world. It's a big project, guys. Like, we've got the people to do it now. The guy who's building it for us is a top 1,000 in the world programmer, internationally famous cryptographer guy that the kind of guy that speaks on stage at cryptography conferences. His name is Jeff Marrison. He runs a company called 2 Ton Digital. He's the best guy I've ever met for this. And
fantastic.
yeah, Jim Jager, why so many accounts? I'll show you why. Well, actually, no, I won't show you why. But if people find out what my accounts are, they start buying the stuff that I'm buying, and it gets super annoying. So I have all these small accounts where I make little plays, and then I'll trick them. I'll buy a small amount on my main account, and then all the assholes who are following me, who think they've discovered my wallet, will buy the coin, pump it up, and I'll sell in the other wallet. So basically, I do it to fuck copy traders.
Yeah, don't copy trade all the.
If you copy trade me, as Michael Roshin in the chat has found out, I will dump on you, and I will absolutely laugh at it. Michael, that was one of the best days I had this year, was absolutely dumping on you.
It's like entering a labyrinth of pain.
Yeah. Oh, you want to fight? Fight me. Sure, I got you. He's and Michael's a great friend of mine, and we were on a Zoom call, and he looked like he was crying, and I'm like, and he's like, "You don't even look like you're sorry," and I'm like, "You stole all my money. Yeah, you dumped the coin, and the coin's gone down 80%, and you did that to me. I thought we were friends." I'm like, "There's no such thing as friends in the order book, dude."
All right, great. So just for very simplistically, for a little bit of clarity, so Hyperliquid is the exchange. Hype is the token of that exchange. Trend is the token of FinRev. You cannot buy Trend. Scott will be airdropping that to people when it's ready. And the FinRev connection with Hyperliquid, we're hoping around January time, maybe February time. Any current FinRev?
I think we should be good for January. We're on track for January.
Excellent. Any current FinRev members will already be aware of the standard of the guides that we put out and the coaches that we make available. So if people are, okay, great, I think I want to leave my current exchange, go to Hyperliquid, we will have guides, we will have processes, and we will have coaches available for that.
Got a question here. Is Solana a buy? Let's look at that a little bit more closely. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, so we have a lot of short interest built up, ripe for a squeeze. Okay, before Solana is a buy, before you buy Solana, what you want to see is this. You want to see it go up and then try and go down and not break here. If it breaks below here, all bets are off. But you want to see it hold there and then get above this point here. This point here is your time when you can see that if we strip the bullshit out of it, what's it done? It's seesawing lower, right? Like zigzagging lower. What you want it to do is to break that pattern of zigzagging lower and start zigzagging higher. This is good. This is shit. Simple as that. Do you want to guess that the pattern has changed from shit to good? No, you don't want to guess at it. You want to wait until the pattern really has changed. So even though you'll probably be buying it a bit higher, it's much safer to wait until. No, Elliott waves are bullshit, Jim. Don't do any Elliott waves. That shit'll send you nuts and cost you money, and fuck Elliott waves. And if you want to be down with Elliott waves, then fuck you too.
So just a quick reminder then for 100x Coin Club members, there is no call next week for the 100x Coin Club, but myself and Maurizio are putting on a special call for how to buy Hype. We are currently working on some very, very detailed, absolute step-by-step documents with videos. Current 100x members, if you look at the welcome post, there already is an exact step-by-step of how you buy it. It's just not as sexy and built out as what we're doing. So please come along to that if you can on the Monday. There'll just be myself and Maurizio that week.
I really like Hyperliquid as an exchange to trade on. It's my first choice. It's my go-to. When I see something in the charts during the day, like often I'll see and go, I should have a bet on that. My first choice, my instinct is to go to Hyperliquid, and that's telling me something, is that it's a better fucking product. I've got Binance, I've got Bybit, I've got KuCoin, I've got Kraken, I've got Bitstamp, I've got CoinSpot, I've got Independent Reserve, I've got all kinds of exchanges. But the one that is continually my go-to, Ian, are you feeling the same thing? Like is that your go-to?
It is now because it's just easier.
It's just easier, right?
You know, I know that's simple, but it is just easier.
Agree. All right, guys, we're taking up enough of your time. Merry Christmas, everyone. What a year. What a fucking year. And we've had hard times this year too. Like we've really, really had some absolute shit times. Like, remember how cunted we got in like May? Oh, it's terrible. It's like prison rape stuff. And
It
then
is. I remember almost a year ago to the date, I think it was either the 24th of December or the 26th of December, and everybody was riding high, and you came in the group and went, right, we're selling. And everyone was like, what? What are you talking about? And then it went, thanks, Scott.
yeah. And there's a guy in the chat, Rowan, I think, had accounts frozen on CoinSpot and SwiftX. Hyperliquid just can't freeze your accounts. They just can't. And to me, that's just a killer app. All right, guys, I'm out.
Awesome. Ta-da.